The worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity. Welcome to episode 4 of Car Shopping Questions and Answers. We are live on 4 platforms: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. Okay, we already got people asking questions on TikTok. As you come in, we do these shows at 12. Hold on, I want to give my camera time to focus because I'm doing a lot of moving. We do these live shows, it'll focus in 1 second, at 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern time. Hold on, I'm out of focus. There we go. 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern time. Now, we broadcast these shows throughout the day because a lot of people can't make the live broadcast. You want to tell your friends about it. If this is your first time with us, you've never been on a live with us before. Oh, wait, hold on. They're saying that hold on, can't hear. No sound. All right, hold on. Let's see. How about that? We're good on TikTok? Let me make sure we're good here on, give me a clear if we're clear on Facebook now. Give me a clear. We always got to do the housekeeping, y'all, and I need your help. Before we get busy, let me know audio is good. I see we're clear on TikTok. How are we on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook? All right, perfect. I see the thumbs up just came through. Okay, so this is episode 4. We do these live shows 12 p.m. Eastern time and 3 p.m. Eastern time. So you'll see the broadcast throughout the day, but if you want to actually be live with us, then you want to join us on any of the 4 platforms at one of those 2 times: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we are live. My name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. I am the author of the digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get your copy for 75% off during the show over the next 30 minutes in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, or I'm going to put the banner up here. You can go to deshonsbook.com. We have a link in the comment. We have a comment link in the comment section. So I want you to start typing your questions. We get very, very busy. Have your notes ready. Be ready to unlearn what you've learned about cars, because we get below market deals, and that should be your only mission when you are car shopping, is to get below market deals. All right. Now, one thing that I want to discuss. Okay, matter of fact, let's go. Go ahead, throw that up. Let's go to Frankie's question. So this is from TikTok. Can you please give me the percentage breakdown on leases again? Okay. The 1% rule has been around since probably before I ever even got into the car business. The 1% rule says that if your lease payment is 1% of the MSRP, or less, you stole a car. No down payment. So I had a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It was a $35,000 vehicle. My lease payment was $330 a month. That was under 1%. That's how we indicate that. Now, how we're doing the math is we are taking the MSRP, taking the monthly payment rather, and dividing it into the MSRP. For example, $330, which was my payment, into the MSRP, which was $35,000, and then that gives us 0.009%. 0.009%. Good afternoon, Vivian. Good to see you. So That's how you do it. Now you can multiply by 100 if you want to really get the percentage. You multiply by 100 and you'll see 0.94%. So that has been around for a long time. Shout out to the sharers. I see you, Frankie. Thanks for sharing. Please DM me too. I'm still waiting on ideas for what we could do for the people who share the broadcast. I mean it. We want to make sure we are rewarding people who share, tag, people who invite people to the broadcast. So DM me these ideas. Those are the only DMs I'm looking for because we get too many DMs to really respond to them. We get probably 50 to 100 a day. So we can't respond to all DMs, but those are the ones that I'm looking for. Okay, shout out to everybody who shares. Now, that's been around for a long time. That's how you know you stole the car. It's not even a question now that we still need to get offers because like this is Freener right here. This is why you never want to get excited about one offer unless it's the lowest bid. Here's why. Freener, she just got a, hold on, I'm putting it up here on the screen. She just got a 0.88% lease on a Jeep Grand Cherokee hybrid anniversary edition. $65,000, $65,950 was the MSRP. Her best bid was $579 a month. She's in the video library. She has what we teach. Getting bids. See, so sometimes you could look and be like, oh, this offer looks really, really good. Should I take it? Not if it's not the lowest bid. It must be the lowest out of at least 5 offers. Because what I always tell you is 80% of dealers are overpriced. They're going to overcharge. So that's how you know if you won. Now we had to come up with something. When I started teaching people about leasing, I said, oh, shoot, some of you going to go out here and you've been buying your cars and you're going to walk into dealers and you're going to get a lease and you're going to think it's good because you're still paying less than somebody who actually bought. But we had to come up with something that was showing you when you were overpaying for a lease. And so I started doing some math because I love math. And once I worked the math out, I said, okay, how much are we paying before we're paying too much for a car we're giving back? 1% is the steal. But what's the limit? And I started looking at how cars depreciate, how much car, if you bought it, how much the car would depreciate. And I came up with 1.5%. So when we look at the same vehicle that is, let's say a $40,000 vehicle, for example, 1% is $400 a month or less. 1.5% is $600 a month. Now, what you look at is the total you're paying over the 3-year lease. 600 times 36 months, that's 21.6. So when you take $40,000, you add your taxes and everything, you're probably going to end up about 44. 21 is about the threshold where you're still paying less than if you had bought. You're still losing less value, but and you're tying up less money. But at the same time, that's the limit. Above 1.5%, there's no value in this lease anymore. And that doesn't mean we go buy the car. That means we look at competitors because competitors do offer more aggressive lease pro. Every single vehicle, you guys, and there's over 400 of them, has a different lease program. Sometimes even the trim level is different. The Touring has a different lease program than the Limited. So we don't deal with overpriced leases. And so that's why I created the 1.5% rule. That's how it became to be, based on the fact that I knew a lot of people, as they unlearned that bad advice about leasing, as I taught it and as they heard it from other people, they were going to go and get leases. And it's important that you know when there's no value in a lease and you shouldn't be accepting a lease. And that doesn't mean, and look, let me be very clear. That does not mean, that's why I explained the first part of this question, of this answer. You don't walk into a dealer and say, hey, I'm trying to get under 1.5. You don't walk into a dealer and get a lease quote and then you say, hey, well, look, I got to be under 1.5%. No, you're doing this wrong. Again, my mindset and what I'm trying to get you to use is Cars from Home, where you should be, the only reason you should be in a dealership is to test drive cars. if you're buying new cars or leasing. Test drive, you're in and out of there in 20 minutes. The next time you're back in a dealer is another 30 minutes to pick up your car if they don't deliver. That is the only reason. We never talk numbers in a dealership for a new car or a lease. Are we clear on that? These are rules where it's like, if you want to use what I teach, and I want you to use it so that you can get the results that Frina got, that Danielle got, that we've worked with over 8,000 people in the last since 2021. I want you getting those results. And in order to get them, you got to know what the boundaries are. Deshone says we never talk numbers in the dealership because you have no leverage there. Your leverage is at home, in control, communicating with multiple dealers, and where you can't get emotional. Okay? Clear? So that's the 1% rule, and that's the 1.5% rule, Frankie. Great question. Okay, shoot the next one in, Dolan. Great question. All right, this is Tony on Facebook. And remember, look, y'all, we are live right now. So some of you have seen the rebroadcast, and you're like, Deshone, okay, this is 3 p.m., 12 p.m., we're live. Okay, so this is the time to ask your questions. You're not watching the rebroadcast, and this is also the time to tag a friend and make sure they're here so they can get their questions answered. Shout out to the sharers. And could y'all keep tapping the screen on TikTok and running those likes up? This gets TikTok's attention and gets more people over here because we got to do this together. All right, Tony from Facebook says, hi, my lease is up in a month. I wrote to get 3 quotes from dealers. I only got 1. That's normal. The other 2 are taking their time. That's normal. I have a third-party restriction. Should I wait for the other 2 quotes or just run with the 1 quote? I never run with a 1 quote, and I get 5 quotes. So you're mentioning 3. I never mentioned 3. 80%, again, a lot of what we're talking about, y'all, is math. I'm unfortunate where I have the data. I got probably 5,000-6,000 people who have my book. We probably got close to 2,000 people in the Cars from Home library in my coaching program. That's a lot of data to prove that it's 80% that are overpriced. That's 4 out of 5. So the reason why we must get 5 quotes is because 4 are overpriced. So 3, not enough. Now, if you're doing this manually, this is still easier than you walking into a dealer doing it by phone. But at the same time, I do online. I go to their website. We are connecting with dealers through their website. You don't want to do this with third-party websites that say, hey, we could connect you with multiple dealers. You don't want that because now they're trying to sell your information to the dealers, and this is not what you want to do. You want to create a Gmail account specifically for shopping. We go to 25 dealers' websites. In my book, I link you to all the dealers so that you can just put in the zip code, and then it'll pull up all the dealers around you for every brand. But you can do this yourself. You can go there and you can actually you go to each dealer's website. We do a copy and paste message. I have a template that I use that the people who follow my stuff use. And the template you need to tell them exactly what you want and what you're open to. Colors wise, this is why we build our car. We always build our car, go to the website, build the car, because we tell them exactly what we want and what we're open to. This takes us 20 minutes to contact 25 dealers online, copy and paste. We're telling them what we're looking for. Hey, these are the colors I'm open to, blue, black, or silver. These are the trim levels I'm open to, limited or touring. We're telling them this is these are the package. These are my must-haves. I need the big sunroof. All of that has to go in to it's not that you're not car shopping online. You're just now you're car shopping against people who their job is to make money. And so if you don't have what I'm telling you I've responded to hundreds of internet requests when I work for the dealers. If you're here for the first time, type a 1. If this is your first time ever being on a broadcast with us, type a 1. I want you to know a little something about me. I was inside car dealers for 14 years, responding to these quotes. So The reason why I'm giving you the exact strategies is because I know there's so many things that you're not trained to give the dealership that they need. They can't give you a quote without it. They can't shop correctly, without it. Okay, shout out to the first time people. Could everybody type welcome to the first time people? If you've been on here before, type welcome to the first time people. Now, once you give them that information, you're copy and pasting that. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. You're doing that with 25 dealers. And then that creates the conversation to see where the dealers are actually coming, where the deals are coming from. But you need to see who has a car first. You need to see who has a car first. So, oh, you're talking about selling the lease. Okay, you're earlier in the process. Understood, Tony. Okay, perfect. No, just talk to another used car manager. And you want to have conversations because one, your car is worth different things to different people. You need at least 3 for that. You're on point. Yes, 3 quotes for your lease buyout. For your old car from 3 different used car managers. And if the 2 are not getting back to you, then just move on to other ones. But be aware, you should be using those values you got online from the online buyers to see if you have equity, because not everyone has equity. The whole purpose of the equity assessment is to make sure you're not leaving any money on the table. That's the purpose. But there's no guarantee. Many people have turned their leases in not knowing that they should have done an equity assessment, and then the dealership sitting on $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 that they didn't know about. That's what we want to prevent. So if you do those offers and you see you have $3,000, $4,000 in equity, now that's when you bring it here. If you do those offers and you're at a break even or $1,000, then that's not always worth it, because those used car managers are not going to match the highest offer. So be aware of that. But if you have equity there, then 3 used car managers, that's how you make a move. Okay? Fight for your money. This is your money. If you end up making $1,500 out the deal even, and it took you 2 hours, where do you make $750 an hour at? $750 an hour. So this is your money. And if you don't fight for your money, someone else will definitely cash the check. All right? Tyler said, send the next one in. Tyler said, F&I director here in Houston of 2 large stores. Your content is great. I appreciate you, Tyler. This is the 20% right here. See, the 20% can always admit when we're doing something to help the market. The 80% will come on here and be like, oh man, this guy couldn't make it in the car business. Now he's teaching. All right, go ahead. Shoot the next one up, Dolan. This one's from Facebook. What's up, John? Instagram, y'all not typing enough questions. And Instagram, just so you know, the easiest platform to share on is Instagram, because you hit that little arrow, it looks like a paper plane, and it'll let you go down your Instagram friend list and send this broadcast out to probably 10, 15, 20 people. Okay? Don't cheat your friends. All right? Shout out to the sharers. John from Facebook says, is it hard to purchase with a charge-off on credit 3 years old? So everyone who has credit issues should be following Shonda Martin. She's on all the platforms, Road to 750 plus. And you should be working on getting your credit to the point where you can qualify for the best programs. And you don't need an 800 credit score to qualify for the best programs. You usually need close to 680, 690 will usually qualify you for most tier 1 leases. Now there are some cars that have super tier where you tier A1 plus, but that's not most leases. That's not your standard everyday cars that most of us are leasing or buying. So the question is, if you don't need a car, then you should be working on your credit. If you need a car, then there's nothing you can do. You need to make a move. And so I recommend a company like Limbuzz. We're always going to give the dealer a chance to match or beat our offer. So whoever we end up buying our car from, some of you have been taught never let the dealer participate. That's costing you money, because the dealer has 7, 10, 12 banks on their end. Now, If they're trying to beat and earn your business, now that's a winning position. See, check this out. When you have a finance manager who's saying this about you, what's the highest interest rate you think they'll pay? What's the highest payment you think they'll pay? That's a bad position to be in. That only happens when you have no leverage, you haven't shopped, you haven't come in with an offer, and now they're trying to see the highest interest rate that you'll pay. We're not doing that. You're doing it our way, which is we're going to have we don't let anyone touch our credit until after we find our car. Now, once we find our car, get our best deal through a bidding system, now we're going to take that purchase agreement, that's a receipt. Yep, I see the questions coming in on Instagram. We got you. Hold on, Atlantis. Once you see the long form receipt, now you take this home, and this is when you're going to contact your bank, your credit union, the online lenders. You're going to go online lenders, online banks, online credit unions. You're going to let all these people have a shot at your business. If you do this within a small window of time, if you do it my way, it'll only take you 2 days. This is going to weigh on your score the same as one hard inquiry, because this is something called rate shopping. This is not going from dealer to dealer, getting turned down or putting in applications and nothing like that. This is how you rate shop correctly. I call this the bank bidding war. When you get my book, I also send you the bank bidding war blueprint. It's going to be going into my book, but I need about another month to be able to combine it. But I send you the bank bidding war blueprint. Now, the bank bidding war is 3 rounds. First thing we're doing is seeing, is there any special interest rates that the car we're buying has? In your particular case, John, with credit challenges, you're not going to qualify for that. That's okay. But we need to check that. If there's 0%, 0.99%, that eliminates our need to do anything else with financing, because no one else is going to beat that. Second part of the round starts, there's 3 rounds to the bank bidding war. The second part comes after we find our car, and it's what I just broke down. When we come home, we let all these banks, these lenders, online credit unions run our credit, and so they're bidding and submitting us their loan offers. Now, the third round is the dealer. That's when we're going to call the dealer who we reserved the car with and say, hey, I got 6.29 from this bank. If you can beat it, I'll give you the business. Now, this is the big difference, you guys. When you have a finance manager who's trying to beat your offer, who's calling their banks and saying, hey, I need to get 5 point something because this person already has 6. That's leverage. When you start bidding, like I'm teaching you, like what's in my book, like what's in everything we do, in my videos, everything's a bid. You have the leverage. And there's no way for you to overpay when you are getting bids. So that finance manager calls you back, it's only going to be 1 or 2 answers. Hey, Stuart, man, listen, I tried my best, man. I reached out to every bank I got. No, I can't beat that rate, man. I appreciate the opportunity, but you can go with your own financing. In which case, you guarantee you got the best loan. Second thing is, hey, you know what? You had a good rate, man, but I got somebody to beat it. So we can do it right here for you. Perfect. In which case, you guarantee you got the best loan. See, you don't have enough people competing for your business. That's where your buyer's remorse is coming from. That's where your lack of confidence is coming from. That's why you're driving off from a dealer saying, hey, you think we could have got more money? You think we could have got another $1,000 off? That's all buyer's remorse because you don't have enough people competing. So I want you to stop that. I want you to use what I'm telling you to do. All of this is in my book for those of you who like Deshone. I don't even want to remember all of this. It's all in my book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. This is what I've been teaching for 3 years. And this is what I've been doing since 2015 myself personally. So you can get your book for 75% off. Cue up the next question, Dolan. Oh, John, in your case, though, when you get that buyer's order, you would be reaching out to LendBuzz. So after you find your best car deal, you would be reaching out to LendBuzz and seeing, what their rates would be for you. And then you would be going with, still giving the dealer the opportunity to see if they can beat it. Because once a dealer knows you got an approval already, they kind of have a little more leverage to be able to see if they can beat that approval. But in any case, even if they can't, LendBuzz is pretty generous. but we don't do this until after we find our car. Okay? Great question. Shoot the next one up, Dolan. All right, this is Gemini from Instagram. Can a dealership legally raise the price from what is being offered online? Listen, nobody's suing dealers. So it's not really about what's going on legally. It's probably more ethics than anything. And we don't expect dealers to be ethical. We don't need dealers to be ethical. They've proven that the majority of them aren't ethical. So when you're not ethical, you walk the fine line between breaking the law and not. You walk that gray area. You know, yeah, I overcharged you. I know you could have paid less, but I know, yeah, whatever. But I know I could have sold you the car for less. But I'm gonna tell you that this is the best. Like, all of this stuff is unethical, but it's legal. So when it comes to what we're doing, our job is to protect ourselves. And you can't go into a car dealership expecting them to protect you. You can't go into any business transaction expecting the person you're negotiating against or the person who's selling you a product to protect you. That's why we exist, because there's no one out there. If it hadn't been done, you'd been good. If there were, even if the I think it's the Federal Trade Commission or whoever regulates businesses were stepping in to protect the public, then we wouldn't have a need for what we do. But that doesn't exist. So it's on you. It's buyer beware. It's you protect yourself. And so I provide the tools for everyone who wants to take action to protect themselves. All right? But no, we don't expect dealers to do anything other than what they've been doing. Go ahead, shoot the next question up. Let's roll. All right. Why shouldn't a person focus just on monthly payment, monthly car note? Okay, good question. Hold on. Let me make sure I can see Instagram. All right, so this one's from Instagram. Promise Tammy said, why shouldn't a person focus on just the monthly car note amount? So if we did a little math and you go, all right, if you walk into a dealer and you're looking at a $40,000 car and you say to the dealer, how much does that car cost a month? And they're smart, if they're trained, they're going to say, well, it's not really about the car payment right now. Do you like the car? And once you say, yeah, I like the car, let's get down to numbers, they're going to ask you, they're going to try to figure out what you could afford. Like, what's the most you could afford? Or I can't afford any more than $450 a month. Now, some of you know every $1,000, every $5,000 on the purchase price of a car is how much per month. Some of you know. I know we got a lot of new people on here, but for those of you who've been tapped in with us, how much is every $5,000 on a car loan? So, and the reason why I give you guys this parameter is so when you look at that $40,000 car, thank you, Frankie, got it. You should automatically know every $5,000 is about $100 a month. Yep, you got it, Michael. All right, I see you. We got people tapping on every platform. Good job, Carmelo. So the reason why, see, those of you who focus on just the car payment, you are some of the people who the 80% of dealers are going to manipulate the most and make the most money on. Because when you come in, if you don't realize that that $40,000 car is in no way close to $450 a month, now you have someone who's going to try to manipulate the loan to make that car $450 a month somehow. Now, it's usually going to end with you having a super long loan. So I've had people come to me years ago, friends that would say, Deshone, what you think about this deal? I say, man, let me look at the paperwork. And I see, man, you know the loan is 96 months? Nah, man, I didn't even know that. Yeah, the loan is 96 months. What is that, 8 years? 84 months is 7 years, 96 months is 8 years. So you're out the door at an 8-year loan. Now, I'm not going to assume you know why that's bad. So I'll say that an 8-year loan leads to too much interest, and it's what it is, because if they got you an 8-year loan, it's certainly at a high interest rate, because banks know that those loans, people who need 8-year loans, are risky. People who need 8-year loan, they got to protect themselves because typically the car may have problems in the long run. When you go down, see the whole point with a shorter loan, 5-6 years. Some people want to be conservative. You take 4 years, but you want that car paid off by the time maintenance comes, by the time repairs start being needed, because cars need repairs every now and then. So you want the car paid off. They know that if we give this person an 8-year loan, typically they're probably gonna have issues around year 7, year 6, even depending on the age of the car. So the length of loan, I teach something called the rule of 72 and the 10th birthday. I will not in any way co-sign anyone getting a loan longer than 72 months, which is 6 years, because we don't have, see, what's the longest loan, a mortgage that any of you would take? Let's keep a real fast dialogue going. All of this is to really answer the question that Tammy's asking, which a lot of other people have. So we need to indicate why this makes a difference. The longest mortgage most of you are going to take is 30 years. Mortgage. There are 40-year mortgages available. There's 50-year mortgages available. No one on here said, yo, I do a 50-year mortgage. Why? Because we already know inherently anything longer than 30, that means we can't afford this house. That means we're looking at the wrong house. So we had to make sure we created boundaries so that you understand, okay, if I got to take a loan longer than 6 years on a car, that's telling me I can't afford the car. So once I get my best price, I should already be able to afford that car with a 6-year loan or less. And I combine that with the 10th birthday. So when you look at your car, you should have your car paid off by the 10th birthday. You're taking a lot of risk if you got a loan on the car past its 10th birthday. A lot of the times I was in a dealership, people came in with problems, big repairs, and they still had car payments. Car's 10 years old, 11 years old, and they still got car payments. You could run the risk of being in trouble because that car could be in the shop. Some of you have experienced this. Car's in the shop and you still got a monthly payment due every month. Now this is disaster, and that's what we're trying to prevent. That's why we don't focus on the monthly payment. When we're purchasing a car, we are only focused on the price of the car. We need to, before we even think about monthly payment, how about this? We need to make sure we're getting the car for the lowest price possible. Because some people go in and like, hey, the car's 40 grand. Well, what if another dealer will sell it to me for 35? Once I get the lowest price, then I'm concerned with what my monthly payment is going to be. So there's steps to this. But yeah, don't focus on monthly payment and just stay committed to what we're teaching, and you'll learn and you'll see why even more information of why that's bad. But we want you to understand the numbers. Okay? Typically, you focus on monthly payments, you don't quite understand the numbers, but you will. All right, this one's from TikTok. Can you give us some tips about co-signing? Ooh, I have a very, very, very strict rule when it comes to co-signing. Now, some people, you're not going to like this. Some people will tell you this is bad advice. It's just my opinion. I've seen tons of horror stories. I've seen people walk into the dealership. I've seen young people who will co-sign, who will use up people's credit, co-signing, and just burn them, because no one cares about, if you don't care about your own credit, you certainly don't care about someone else's in a lot of cases. So, but I do have some rules, because sometimes it's gonna make sense. When you can pay, if a person does not pay, then you're good. Example, my daughter, we're gonna get her a car. I'll co-sign only if I can pay the note if she doesn't pay. So let's say she's working, she's paying X amount per month, I'm co-signing, but if for example, she loses her job, anything happens, I can pay if she doesn't pay. That could be for the spouse. If they don't pay, I will pay it. As long as that's the rule, then you're protecting yourself, because where you get in trouble at is if you can't pay, if they don't pay. He told me he was going to pay it. He's missed 2 payments. Your credit doesn't get, they don't care. So you got to be willing to say that. This has to be a person that I'm willing to pay if they don't pay. That means I got to have that type of relationship with them. Or if I can't pay, if they don't pay, I'm not co-signing, because I cannot depend on things that will go wrong. Life will happen. And then I'm sitting out here and my credit was 700, 750, 800. Now it's 620 because they missed 3 payments and I'm struggling to get this car back from them. Okay? Those are my hard rules on co-signing. I don't deviate from them. And those are typically rules that if you follow them, you're going to be safe. Okay? All right. Shoot the next question up, Dolan. Diana said, my brother asked me to co-sign. I told him, hell no. Listen, that's it. Listen, people will ask you to co-sign quick as, listen, people will ask you to co-sign like they just asking to borrow sugar. Hey man, can you co-sign this loan for me? No, listen. It takes a while to build up great credit, and it takes seconds to destroy it. Nicole from Facebook said, are you able to negotiate third-party restrictions in a new lease? So these are two separate things. The third-party restriction is the selling of the old car, not the new lease. We're not mixing these two. So we're the people who work with me, you're selling your old car independent of the new deal. The new lease is its own transaction. We split everything we do into separate transactions. See, the car business has taught the public to give them up to 3 transactions. Buying a car from them is one transaction. Getting a loan from them is a second transaction. Letting them buy your old car, which you call trade. We don't use that word. That's 3 transactions. There's money in each transaction. There's money in each. That's why there's companies that only want to give you loans. They don't sell cars. There's money in loans. There's companies that only want to buy your car. They don't care about selling your car right now. There's money in buying cars. So you need to separate these transactions if you want to maximize each. There's no way for you to save the most money without maximizing and looking at each part of your deal as its own separate transaction. So if I have a third-party restriction, I'm doing the equity assessment. A third-party restriction is, some of you have leases. We always need to see if there's any equity in our lease before we return it to the dealership. If you have returned your car to a dealership without doing the equity assessment, you don't know how much money you've left on the table. Because if there's $2,000 or $3,000 of equity in your car, the dealer's keeping that, and that's their money. So, or the bank's keeping it when they sell it, that's their money. It's probably the dealer will find a way to buy it, and it's their money. So when we look at an equity assessment, we're going to do it at all times. Now, there's no guarantee we have equity, but we want to guarantee we're not leaving equity on the table. And so a third-party restriction doesn't mean you can't sell a lease. Who didn't know you could sell a lease? Type a question mark. If that's new to you, this is your first time hearing this, you've been leasing, and you're like, Deshone, I never heard about selling leases. I had no idea this was a thing. Type a question mark if this is your first time hearing that you could sell a lease. Okay. Fish Guy Rodney. Okay. See, so more information is coming out. Okay. Fairy Godmother. Okay. Emil. Okay, I'm sorry. I just tore your name up. Sorry. So as you check Shamir on Instagram. So when we look at this, we got to see that the things that we don't know cost us money. So now it's like, once they saw people, because we helped out probably thousands of people in the pandemic sell their leases, used car values, resale values were crazy. So we had people making $5,000, $10,000, $12,000 selling their leases. I sold my Jeep Grand Cherokee lease. I made $8,900 after I drove it for 42 months because I extended the lease and then I sold it. My mother, she drove her car. She made $10,200. Now those numbers don't exist anymore because values have come back down. But there's still people who are going to make 3, going to make 2, going to make 4, depending on your car. Now, every car doesn't have equity. But when it comes to the third-party restriction, they don't say you can't sell. They limit who you can sell to. You must sell to a local used car dealer. To a local dealer of the same brand. So if you have an Audi, you must sell to an Audi dealer. We are still going to get bids. We're going to get at least 3 bids from used car managers at Audi dealers because your car is not worth the same thing to every dealership. Your car may be worth 19 to this dealer, 19.8 to this dealer, 21 to this dealer, which is why we must get bids. Y'all gonna hear me say that word. Your favorite word, if you stick around and you use what I'm teaching, when you start mastering my strategies, your favorite words are gonna be bids, multiple offers, because that's how we save all the money. So okay, so that has to be handled, Nicole, separately. The selling of your car, the who I'm gonna sell that car to, you find that person first. Then you go shop for your replacement car. And then once you go sign that deal, you sell the car, you do it the same day, and you maximize both transactions. Okay? And all of this, guys, shouldn't take you any more than 90 minutes. This is not something that's going to take you hours. See, my whole thing is to show you how to get great deals in 60, 90 minutes from home. That's why my book is called Cars from Home. 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can all get a copy for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. Just go to my TikTok bio. You won't leave the broadcast. Grab your copy before that timer hits 0. The price goes back up to $97. Or you can go to my Instagram bio, or click it if you're on Facebook or YouTube. Go to the comment section and you'll see a link to deshonsbook.com and grab your copy for 75% off before the timer expires. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question out. Should I feel bad if I get 1.3? I'd only feel bad if I got 1.3 and if it was my only offer. If it was my only offer, or if I only got 2 offers, then yes, because I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you something. When I look at what I see, hold on. Okay, hold on. We saw Freena. Some of you saw Freena. That's 0.88. That's just ridiculous. 0.88. But look, Charles, he gets a Palisade. He's paying $48,000 vehicle. His best offer was $597 a month, 1.23. Now, look at and sometimes people who are getting phenomenal, who are looking at cars that are super, super popular, they'll go a little further, and he reached out to 35 dealers. Now, I want you to pay attention. Some of you, the average person only shops 2 dealers. My strategy is I teach 25 to 5. But once you see my copy and paste system, which is in my book, I have a copy and paste system where we're on their website. You'll see that I could talk to another 10 dealers. It only take me 10 minutes to open up contact with another 10 dealers. We always use a separate email. Do not contact dealers from your personal email. I'm warning y'all. It's not going to work. You're trying to go through your work email, and then you got your personal stuff, and then you're seeing the car dealers. Don't do it. Create a separate Google email, and that's how we do it. So he said, I reached out to 3,500 dealers, got 10 quotes back. So that $597 a month, 1.23 is the best out of 10. So so I always tell you, when you do it right, you're going to see offers that are $150 to $200 a month more. That's when you know you've exposed the 80%, and that's when you know you shop the right way. If you don't see that type of spread minimum, you haven't shopped enough offers. So that's the only time I would feel bad, GKA, is if I didn't get at least 5 quotes, because I don't know if 1.3 was the best. I'm gonna tell you a funny story too, because Freena's in our coaching program, and Freena reached out and she said she was looking at a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Get ready for the next question, but I'm gonna tell y'all, I want to hammer this home so y'all understand the importance of multiple offers and you don't get lazy, because the things I'm telling you might take another 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and they save your family $3,000. You can't put a price on. Well, you can put a price on that. So Freena was shopping for a Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. She comes to the group and she said, Deshone, this was the best offer on a Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. It was like 1.2 and change. But she said, the guy that made me this offer said he has this 4XE. It's a hybrid. And he said he could actually do better on that one. She said, what do you think? And he told me what it would be. It would drop the price here. I said, if you're open to that, then you need to run your quotes again and get 5 more offers on that vehicle, because it may have a better lease program, in which case you need to open it up again. She opened it up again. That's how she got her 0.88% lease. So if she would have just said, well, this guy is getting me 1.1, I'm going to just take that, then she never would have found a 0.88. multiple offers. That's probably $100 a month difference than what the last offer, $100 a month times 36 months on this lease. You're talking about $3,600. And she did it in minutes. Once y'all learn how to do this, it's minutes. This is not hours. I'm not spending more than 60 minutes on shopping for a car. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not spending time to decide what I want. But once I decide what I want, once you know what you want, 60 to 90 minutes to get the best deal. That's it. All right, shoot the next one up, Dolan. Keep the questions coming, y'all. We are live every day at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Well, not every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at noon and 3 p.m. So this is our live show. Okay. Throughout the day, though, you may see a broadcast and you'll know, okay, you'll still be able to get value because most of the people who are asking the questions on here are asking the same questions you would have asked. So go ahead, Dolan, shoot it out. This is Raymond from YouTube. How do you structure a lease? So the first thing you want to do is look at the car you're thinking about leasing. And we like to use a 1.25% formula estimate to see if we should be even looking at that car. Okay. So if I'm looking at a car that's $40,000, I'm doing a 1.25% estimate. I'm multiplying it by 0.0125. And then I'm going to see, 40,000. I'm multiplying that by 0.0125, and that comes out to 500. So that's going to tell me if I'm looking to be at 300, that's not the car that I'm going to be looking for in most cases. Now, we don't know if the best deal is going to be 1.25, but we're trying to estimate based on a bad deal is above 1.5. Anything above 1.5, we're overpaying for our lease. No money down. Money down comes later. Now, a steal is 1.1%. So I teach something in my book. It's called 1% is the steal. Between 1% and 1.5% is the deal. And then above 1.5% is time to chill. We don't do that. So that's the first thing. Now, once we move past that, now it's time to choose our mileage. So we're going to look at our lifestyle. We're going to see how much we drive to work, how much we're going to be driving the car. And once we come up with that, you're just doing some simple calculations. What's your round trip to work? 10 miles. How many days a week? 5 days. Okay, that's 500 miles a month. That's if you do the math. Let's say your trip to work is 20 miles round trip, and you do that 5 days a week. You're doing 100 miles a week to work. Times 52 weeks of the year, that's 5,200 miles. So I walk you through this in my book, but this is simple. 5,200 miles, and then you say, okay, well, I like to do a little leisure. I like to take a little trip down here. I go fishing, 1,000 miles away, blah, 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 blah. So you're calculating what you're going to do. The easiest way to do it is to look at your old car and see what you've done. But if you don't have an old car, this is how you calculate it. You come up with, all right, I only need about 9,000 miles a year. Perfect. All of our leases, we shop our offers with 12,000 miles a year. That's your average miles. That's what we want to base our formula from. So whenever we reach out to a dealer, we do this online. As I said, everything we do is online. Once we do this, we're shopping multiple dealers and we're telling them, work us up a lease quote. First month's payment, total out of pocket. If you were on the last show earlier, we talked about we don't say down payment anymore. We say total out of pocket, TOP. Everybody who's clear on TOP, if you were on the last broadcast, type TOP. If you weren't, TOP is total out of pocket. That means only thing I'm giving you for this offer right now is my first lease payment, and I'm driving off. Total out of pocket. We're not saying down payments anymore. Okay? So now, we're structuring our lease with first month's total out of pocket, 12,000 miles per year, and that's how we're sending the offers out to the dealers. All online, all copy and paste. These are all templates I have, but I have templates where you just fill in what you want, blah, 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 all in my book. There are links, there's templates, but if you're going to do it your way, that's fine, but this is how you do it. And you can sit in your computer and just copy and paste. And now you're looking to get 5 quotes. That is the mission. 5 quotes, and that's it. That's how we structure our leases. Once you're done and you get your best quote, Now that's when you adjust your mileage. So once you identify the best dealer, the winning bid, now you're going to say to that dealer, hey, can you adjust the offer to 10,000 miles a year? Can you adjust it to 18,000 per year? Can you adjust it to 25,000 per year if you're a high mileage driver? And you adjust it from there. But that's it. You do this over and over, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. All right. Great question. Shoot the next one in, Dolan. All right. Shout out to the sharers. Thank you, Liba. I see you. Thank you so much. This one's from Preston on YouTube. What is the best way to finance a car out of state? It's no difference. It's really no difference. We're going to find the car. We're going to get the buyer's order. We're going to have them. Now, the thing about a used car, if it's a used car, we got to test drive the car. So what you may want to do is if you're picking up a car out of state, you may want to go there, lock up the car, grab a cheap hotel for the night, stay there, because you don't want to eliminate the bidding process. The bidding process is your bank, your credit union, online banks bidding, and then dealers bidding. The dealer who you get the car from, they're bidding against that. Some of you don't really understand how much money is in finance. On a $40,000 loan, 2 points on an interest rate could literally be $2,500. So we got to understand there's a lot of money in loans. So if I'm driving to pick up a car out of state, what I'm typically going to do is go test drive that car. If I like it, I'm locking it up with a deposit. I'm taking that buyer's order. I'm gonna go back, depending on how far it is. If it's 3 hours away, I'm probably not gonna drive home and then come back. Depends on you. I'll probably just post up in a hotel. Go do my financing online. Let all these banks and credit unions run my credit so I can get their offers, and then I would call the dealership the next day and say, hey, this was my best offer. If you could beat it, I'll just come get it from you, and that's it. I'll spend $50, $60, $100 on a hotel to save $3,000, $2,000 on interest on my interest rate. But everything else is the same. So we can't be scared to go out of state. If many of you who are using what I'm teaching, you're going to see. Look at Eddie. Who was Eddie who drove? Hold on. Short conversation. John, hold on. Market. Trying to think. I'll see many of who I'm going to share with you. You'll see they'll say when they're picking up their car, I'm driving 45 minutes. I'm driving an hour and a half away. Look at Sean. Perfect example. Sean, he's also in our coach. Now, I don't want you to think, I got to be in Deshone's coaching program. There's just some people who are. The information's in the book. We got the video library. For those of you who are like, okay, I like videos to go along with the book, that's fine. I link you to some videos in the book, but then there's some people who coach with me and I can talk personally to them. So Sean comes on here and he comes into the group. He said, he sends this. Look at the amount. He said, I'm looking at some advice on this F-150 Lightning XLT. It's a $73,000 truck. The dealer discounted it $4,900 and then revealed that there was a $15,500 rebate. His total savings is over $20,000 off this truck. So I'm like, all right. Now me, being who I am, I don't know if that's the best. 2015, I sold 2 Maybachs. They had $20,000 rebates on it. So we don't know if this is the best. I haven't seen, this is what I said to him. I haven't seen the other offers yet, but I'm assuming you got at least 5. You're saving over $20,000 on this with this discount and rebate, but the only way to know is to compare to the other offers. See, I'm not going to get excited about this deal until he tells me what I'm about to read to you. That's when we get excited. He said, guess I could have put a little more info on here. Yes, I got about 15 quotes. You see the difference? This is what I want you to get. BK Dollar, this is what I want you to get. Liba, this is what I want you to get. Everybody watching, the money is in multiple offers. The reason why you're not saving, you're just not getting enough offers. So he says, I ended up expanding my search to 150 miles outside my area to find this deal. He said, I couldn't find, watch this, I couldn't find anything under MSRP in that first search. So think about how I'm telling you, the local dealers know when they see your zip code, they know, okay, some of them, all right, we don't have to do too aggressive. But those dealers that are an hour and a half away, when they see your inquiry, they're like, oh, listen, this is a person we never would have saw before. What is it going to hurt us to blow this truck out? And we take a deal from one of our competitors' markets. We love to see our license plate frame over in their market. That's how we win. So he ends up saving over $20,000, and he doesn't mind driving 150 miles to go get that truck. Why? Because every mile he drives is dollars he's picking up. We clear on that? We clear? If you're clear on the importance of multiple offers, type clear. All right, shoot the next one up, Dolan. Okay, this one's from Instagram. Atlanta's Black Gabriel. I think it's Gabriel, my fault. So, in the market for a new Chevy or used Chevy Malibu, what's the best route, leasing or financing? How many years are you keeping the car? If the answer is 8, then you should be buying. If it's at least 8, see, I teach something. My book is called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Save Time, Money, and Avoid Dealerships. Everything I do, when you go, the video library that we have, your best deal in 7 days, 7 steps. These are not going to change. The first step is the foundation to your deal. The first step is the foundation to your deal, which is lease or buy. Because you cannot get a good deal if you bought when you should have leased. It's impossible. Because the amount of money you're going to pay on the purchase is going to be too much if you buy brand new. And if you buy pre-owned, it's going to be about the same amount you'll pay. So when you buy, if you're not keeping your car 8 years and you buy a used car, 3-4 years old, and then you trade it in 5 or 6 years, you're going to pay the same amount or even a little more than someone who got a great lease deal and drove brand new vehicles. So it's all about how many years you're keeping the car. If you're keeping the car, if you're like Deshone, there's no way I'm keeping the car 8 years. That's not my style. Then you should be shopping from this day forward for aggressive lease deals. Now, once you find a car that you love, or if your spouse says, you know what, I don't switch cars like that. I keep a car 8, 10, 12 years. Then we purchase for them. We're going to purchase. But for those who are not keeping their cars 8 years, you are losing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars not leasing cars. Thousands, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. All right? That's the 8-year rule. It's the most important question. It's the first thing you ask when you are car shopping and you're ready to car shop. How many years am I keeping this car? 8 or less, we lease. Less than 8, we lease. More than 8, we buy. That's how we avoid the depreciation. So go ahead. It's a hard rule. You want a follow-up question to that, or anybody want to? Because I know some of you are like, Deshone, I was taught never lease. Whatever. You want to follow up to that question? That's perfectly fine. But that's the rule. And it's the rule based on money. I've seen thousands of scenarios, and I spend years and all my time shouting from the hills so people could understand how much money they're losing by not getting good lease deals or not leasing at all. Okay, go ahead, shoot the next one up, Dolan. Okay, this one's from TikTok. All right, Peyton. Do dealerships finance used cars too? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. But we don't finance, dealers are our last offer for financing, never our first. So what you should do is you should go watch the replay from earlier, episode 3. This is episode 4 of Car Shopping Questions and Answers. We do these lives Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time and 3 p.m. Eastern time. For those of you who are like, because I want you to be able to tell your friends. Today, some of you are going to run into people who are car shopping. You need to be telling them, hey, you got to check this guy, Deshone the Auto Advisor. He does this show, live show, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But you want to watch episode 3 where we went into detail about how we don't finance. In fact, early, I think we talked about it early on this episode. Your financing should be independent from the dealer. The dealer should be your last offer for financing. Because what you're asking for, that's 2 transactions. You're giving them 2 transactions of business. You're giving them the purchase of a car, and then you're giving them the selling you of your loan. So what we do is we separate these transactions and we get bids for each. So the only way I'm dealing with a dealer, the only way you're going to be dealing with a dealer is if they've won the bid, which means if I'm looking for a used car, you won the bid out of all the used cars. Like, all right, give you an example. This is Vincent. Vincent got a 3-year-old Lincoln Corsair, premium trim level, under 45,000 miles, clean Carfax, inspection, all from the comfort of home. I'm reading what he put in our group. He was targeting to find a discount of 30 to 35% from the MSRP. This is something that no one is teaching you guys about what you need when you're purchasing a used car. If you're going to be purchasing a used car in the future or your next car, or if you bought a used car in the past, type the letter U. Type the letter U. If you're going to be purchasing a used car, or if you have purchased a used car in the past, I'm about to give you something that you have never heard before, but it is no way for you to know you got a great deal until you start talking the way Brandon talks here. You notice he said 30, he was targeting to find something 30 to 35% from the MSRP. In order for us to know, I see you, Shelby. I see you, Emma. I see you, Katarina. I see you, Raymond. Okay, perfect. Atlanta's Black Gay. All right, a lot of people. Okay, so when you are shopping for a used car, let me tell you a story, give you an example, all right? So I was shopping for my pre-owned Infiniti truck 3 months, a little over a year ago. I narrowed it down to 3. Now, I narrowed it down based on title history, service records, accident history. We talked about this in the last episode, episode 4. Title history, service record, episode 3 rather. You can see it on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe and please hit the like button. It matters because that shows the algorithm that we talking business over here, that more people need to be here. So when I narrowed this down now I get to, like, I think I narrowed it down to my top 4. They were all white. They were all within 30, they're all within $1,500 of each other. Now, here's the problem. This is where it gets complex for you. Because I'm looking at one that they're asking 30,000 and change, one they're asking 31,000, one they're asking 31,800. You know, they're all within $1,500, $2,000 of each other. Similar miles. On the outside, they all look similar. Without knowing, I created something called the true value percentage. What is the true value percentage? It's not what the website says is a good deal. It's the percentage off of what the vehicle was when it was brand new. So I pulled the window sticker for each of these vehicles. I pulled the window sticker, and what do I see? Now I teach you how to do this in my book. I teach you this entire process, but I'm walking you through it. Exactly. I pull the window sticker. You can get it from Carfax, depending on if Carfax has a deal with that manufacturer. Carfax has window stickers. Now, what do I see? One car is 46,000 when it was brand new. Now they're asking 31 and change. Okay. One car is 48 when it was brand new. They're asking 31 and change. One car was 52 and one car was 54.5. That's the one I got. So you see how in one instance we were confused. You would be confused. You sitting here like, yeah, Deshone, that's hard because they all look the same. They all similar price. How do we know? Once we find out the original MSRP, not only do we find out what the original equipment is that's in the vehicle, which is helpful. I wanted to know this is an edition 30, got all these special features. That's helpful to know too. But more important than that even is to know that that car was a $54,500 car that they were asking $31,800 for, which means I got a 42% discount. That is something we created called the true value percentage. And that's how we make sure we choose the right used car when we're ready to pick the final one. This is what we do here, y'all. If you this is why, like, this is why we've been blessed, because God knows we giving you the information you need to win with. So all of this is in my new book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. If you want it all in one place, you can watch the show. You can watch my free social media videos. I got hundreds of them. Or you can say, Deshone, I'm going to get this it's 75% off in my TikTok bio. It's normally $97, but you can get yours for 75% off. And you can get it in my Instagram bio, or if you're on Facebook or YouTube, click the comment section and click that button that says Deshone's book and get you 75% off for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, price goes back to $97. So, all right, but that's the true value percentage. And that these are the things that we never buy a used car ever without looking at the true value percentage. So when you saw what he said when he bought that Lincoln, as he was targeting to get something 30 to 35% off MSRP, and he ended up getting one for 43%. So that's what you need to know. Go ahead, shoot the next one up, Dolan. Great questions today. All right, Raymond on YouTube. Does it make sense to buy an existing lease? So when you're buying a lease, all you're doing is buying a used car. That's how you got to look at it. It's a used car. It's just, it may be your car. If you're buying your lease out, it's a very different. See, what I see most times is people want to buy their lease because they don't know how to shop. Because there's deals out here. We've been making deals since the pandemic. I started our video library. We started that in 2021, November. Middle of the pandemic, when people were paying ridiculous prices over with the 80%, they were cashing the biggest check they've ever cashed in their lives. Like in their lives, they were like, and we were getting deals all since then. Felicia came in. She was our first person in our program who got a BMW. She saved $1,950 January 2022. And so we when you get bids, you reveal. That's why we don't pay attention to nothing out there. I don't care what anyone says, what any dealer says does not matter to me. That does not matter, because I know that if we got deals all through the pandemic, oh, forget it. That's why this market, we're killing it even more. So, you know, if you're buying your lease because you're keeping it another 8 years, you say, man, Deshone, I used to lease, but you know what? I really want to buy something that I could keep for 8, 9, 10 years. Then sure, buy the lease. But if you're not doing that, then you're moving from a lease mindset, which is I'm driving great cars, brand new cars, always under warranty in most cases, latest and greatest features, low payments, pennies on a dollar compared to people buying. That's a whole value system. That's mindset right there. These are the people who are shopping for a lease. These are the benefits of leasing. And then you're moving and saying, all right, I'm going to buy a used car now. Very different, very different. So you got to be, you have to have had a change in mindset and goals to buy your lease and buy a used car. And it's what I see most times is people just don't know how to shop. When you use what I'm teaching you to shop, get 5 offers, you're going to see there's deals everywhere. Everywhere. Go ahead. Shoot the next one up, Dolan. You can't pay me to negotiate your lease, because I do this in 90 minutes and I'm teaching you to fish. You know, I've had people who used to buy cars from me. Hold on, keep that question up from Nicole, but I saw this person on TikTok. I'm not in the business I'm in the business of teaching people how to fish. So, you know, because what happens is you're building a trust in something. Like if you're not willing to learn what it takes to do this in 90 minutes from home, like I'm teaching you, then you are the same type of person. That same mindset will lead you to go into dealers because you're just lazy and scared. Now, I'm not saying that's you. I'm warning you to not let that be you. I'm warning you you can't pay me enough. I'm not in that business. I'm in the business of helping people all around the country. It don't matter what you pay. Of course I don't think you would ever even ask me to work for free. I'm telling you though, that's not the business I'm in, because we can help thousands of people all around the country. But you're not realizing that your transaction is a 5-figure transaction. There's nothing else in this world that you're going to give that type of control. If you were going to start a business and it was going to take a $30,000 decision, $30,000 of your money, would you ever be looking and saying, oh, could you do this for me? You see, we do things with cars because we've been programmed to do them with cars. Car dealers have made you so scared that you've been programmed to do something, but you never do it with anything else. You never do it with a house. You wouldn't say, hey, could you just, I'll pay you to get my house for me. I'll pay you to, start this business for me. No, it's only cars. So when you realize that this stuff is easy, that old way of going into dealers and going back and forth, see, you're thinking of the old way. You're thinking, oh, I need somebody to tag along with me. Yeah, I got Deshone sitting over there next to me. I wouldn't be there because I'm at home. Where you see me at, this is where you see me at is exactly where I got my Infinity truck. I just told you about the deal. Where you see me at is exactly where I get my cars from. I sit right here, and all the people who got my Cars from Home book, who are in the Cars from Home video library, they're all right here. Some of them in the airport buying cars. Some of them at their desk at work making deals on cars. Nobody who's learning from me is in a dealership making deals on cars. So that's the old way. And if you think that you got to unlearn that or you can't win with me, you got to scrap that. I know it's painful. I know it sucks. I know it makes you feel like you're a loser. But that's what I'm telling you. Scrap that joint and do it my way. And when you do it my way, you're going to be like, oh, shoot, man, how the heck wasn't I shopping like this years ago? All right. So now Nicole on Facebook. Do you shop or negotiate differently for a car that is low in inventory or shortage? No. Now, the only difference is, let's say, and this is the reason why we connect with 25 dealers. See, in my book, I said we use the 25 to 5. We got to connect with 25 dealers. This takes us 20 minutes because we're using a copy and paste system. So if you're going to all of these Chevrolet websites and copy and pasting in their contact box, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Now, what you're doing is you're shopping out of all those dealers' inventories. So if you only do this with 4 dealers, then you only see one dealer who has a car. And they're like, oh, well, we it doesn't seem like it's a lot of these cars out here. That's why we're connecting with 25. You saw Sean, he connected with 35. And so when we connect with these dealers, we're not just doing it to get bids. That's one reason. But we also know out of all these 25 dealers, probably 10 of them have a car that matches what I would want. And then I'm going to get 5 to 7 offers. So now let's just say we're at a mid period where the 2024s are sold out and the 2025 hasn't come in yet. Now what's going to happen is all of those dealers out of the 25, maybe 2 of them have a car, and they're going to tell you, you know what, you really need to order it. That's not because it's a low inventory. That's because you're usually in between model years, and the old one has sold out, and the new ones they're waiting for it to come in. But it doesn't change the way we shop. And sometimes we will order. If I'm purchasing, I'm more likely to order because I'll get bids, and then I'll take the car. But if I'm leasing, we're less likely to order because we don't know what the lease program is going to be. See, I could get a dealer that discounts the car for me $3,000. We had a person in our group, and they were getting a new BMW X4, the X4M, like the performance edition. We had a dealer, their best bid, the dealer was taking off $3,000 off MSRP. So, but the lease program is what we didn't know. And once the car came and they put the lease program on it, we saw that it was over 1.5%. So even at that discount, wow, we saved $3,000. Now, if she was purchasing it, that's a win. $3,000 off, beat everybody else. So I don't mind ordering if I'm purchasing. But on a lease, I'm less likely to order because I don't know what the lease program is going to be until the car gets here. Okay, but yeah, that the process doesn't change. It just we have little caveats based on on low inventory. Okay, process is the same. Nothing changes our 7-step process. Nothing. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. All right, great questions today. We got Jermaine, Facebook. So how do you transition out of a finance into a lease? Instagram, y'all not asking a lot of questions. All right, hold on. Get Blooming chosen one. All right, hold on. All right, Jermaine from Facebook says, how do you transition out of a finance to a lease? All right, perfect. So now what I like about this question, Jermaine, is you've already answered the most important question, which is how many years am I keeping the next car? That's step one in our 7-step system. You've already answered that because you've determined I should be leasing. Now the next step is equity assessment. Equity assessment. Call the bank. You don't have to worry about third-party restrictions or nothing because you're not leasing. I mean, you're not coming out of a lease, rather. So you're going to call your bank, get your payoff. You're going to take 20 minutes, go on CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation Sell My Car, Car Guru Sell My Car. Get those 6 offers. That's going to tell you if you have equity, break even, or if you have negative equity. That's your next step. Don't do anything else until you do that. Okay? See, we always have to account for our current asset before we start moving forward. What happens if he has $3,000 in equity? That means he has $3,000. He could either apply towards his next deal, or he could put that money in his bank account and, maybe he leases the next car with no money out of pocket. So equity assessment always comes, even before we budget, before we plan our mileage, before we do anything, equity assessment is what we do. All right? All right, shoot that next one up. Shoot that one up from Instagram if you got it, Dolan. It might have took you a minute, but because we got it's comments from everywhere, y'all. No matter. Okay, here we go. For your calculator, why doesn't it negotiate to the lowest offer? My calculator is the best. My calculator is the best thing that exists because it takes all the offers you get. By the way, y'all, what she's talking about. And you got to be specific because I do have multiple calculators that I've created in my book, multiple softwares where you plug in stuff and it spits out so one of the calculators that I have is the counter offer calculator. So we never accept a deal until we send a counter. So what we do is we take the counters. We take all the offers we get, we plug them into my calculator. Whether it's a lease or whether it's several types. One is for leasing, one is for cash purchases and financing. Now, when you're financing, you're always getting your deals with tax and everything included, all in. So what it does is it takes all the offers, you plug them in, and then it spits out which one is the best, and it counters everyone based on the best offer. So let's just say a dealer says, I'm going to do a 1.1% lease. And then this dealer says 1.2, this dealer says 1.3, 1.5. It's not countering all the high offers based on their high offers. It's countering all the offers based on the lowest offer. Because if the 1.1% lease was presented to us, that means any of the dealer could have did it. So now we're calling out the 80% and letting them know that if this dealer offered me 1.1%, then you all could have done it too. You're just choosing not to do it, in which case that's what the 80% do. So we counter every single one. We even counter the lowest one. And some people in the group will say, Deshone, man, this dealer is the lowest, man. Should I be countering them for another $50 less? I say you must counter. Because you don't know if there's another $10, $50, $20. If you don't counter until a person tells you there's no more room, even if they're the lowest, that's not the best deal. So sometimes you counter the lowest offer, and the lowest offer will be like, listen, man, I gave you my best shot. I got nothing else. We know they're telling the truth because we got 4 or 5 other offers that are much higher than that. Sometimes they'll be like, listen, I can't do that $50. I'll get you another $10. That's the best I got. We know they're telling the truth because all the other offers are a whole lot higher. So that's the way the counter offer calculator works. It's gold. It's gold. So all right, we had an hour and 19 minutes. We try to keep these broadcasts about an hour and 15. Every now and then we go a little over, but listen, y'all, we are live Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Mark your calendars, 12 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm hoping to, in the next couple of days, have a link in my bios so that people will be able to actually go to our calendar, put a reminder, but you know it. 12 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And this whole broadcast is sponsored by, if you just jumped on, I'm the creator, I'm the author of the book, the digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get it for 75% off. It's normally $97, but as long as you get there before the timer hits 0, you can get it for $24 in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, or you could go to deshonsbook.com in the comment section on YouTube or Facebook. Get your copy for 75% off. I'm also the creator of the Cars from Home video library, and I've coached over probably 1,500 people now since 2021. So we've been doing this. Everything I'm teaching you is proven. And I'm going to tell you, just like I tell my coaching students, when you get my book, see, I don't do questions and answers for my book, y'all. See, there's people who DM me. First of all, I don't even see DMs. The reason why I can't do question and answers because there's no other author that does it. So I make myself available probably more than anybody. But when you buy the book, trust the process. If you don't see me say do it, don't do it. Do everything I say do. I tell everybody, even if they're in my coaching programs, you must trust the process that I'm giving you, and you got to unlearn your old process. Don't even think about your old process. Use my process, and I'll lead you to where you want to be at. Guaranteed. All right, so get your copy. I will see y'all all on the next broadcast. Tell your friends. Welcome to the new followers. Welcome to the new subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. We'll be back for episode 5. God bless you.
The worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity.
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome everybody to Wednesday, 12 noon car shopping Q&A. This is episode 5. We do these live shows 12 p.m. We're not going to usually be doing Wednesday, but I said, you know what? Let's throw in a special 12 p.m. Wednesday. So we are actually live. I know some of you may watch the broadcast because we do rebroadcast these lives, but this is actually live, and we're going to be taking questions right now. So as you come in, if you could hit the share button and tag a friend. I'm just getting us up on TikTok right now. I got to make sure I keep people out who are under 18. So come on in. I'm going to share this. If you don't know me, if this is your first time seeing a show with me, type the number 1. Type the number 1 if this is your first time. Welcome back to people who have been here with us in the past or on previous shows. My name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. I spent 14 years in the car business, 5 years with Mercedes, 5 years with General Motors. And now what I do is I show people who want to learn how to car shop from home and how to save more money from home than they're ever going to save in a dealership. So I'm the author of the book, the digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And I'm also the creator of the Cars from Home video library, which is a step-by-step video platform. But anyone who's on here for the next 30 minutes, you can get a copy of my new book, Cars from Home, in my TikTok bio at 75% off. It's normally $97, but for 30 minutes, you can get it in my TikTok bio for 75% off, Instagram bio for 75% off. Or you can go to deshonsbook.com in the Facebook comments or in the YouTube comments. But let's get busy. Get your copy for 75% off. Everything I'm going to be talking about on this show, once again, this is live. It's Wednesday. This is a 12 p.m. noon show. So for those of you who may have seen the broadcast, this is actually live, so we can start typing our questions in. And my man Dolan's going to pull those questions in as you guys type them. And we're pulling questions from TikTok. We're pulling questions from Instagram. Shout out to TikTok. Y'all can start typing your car shopping questions, and let's get busy. What's up, Mike? What's up, Fancy Girl? What's going on, Crows fam? I see you back. Good to see you. What's up, Manly Snacks? Good to see everybody coming in on TikTok. And as you come in on TikTok, can y'all start tapping the screen? If you're going to spend 10, 15 minutes with us, start tapping the screen, shooting those likes up. And then my man Dolan is going to bring in the first question when y'all type it. So Instagram, make sure y'all typing. Sometimes Facebook and YouTube, we notice y'all are a little slow. We need y'all to get a little faster because TikTok always types their questions fast, and Instagram usually types their questions fast. But Facebook, y'all got to get a little faster with y'all questions. So we know that y'all going to step up today and start getting your questions in. All right. I see one that came in from JC. You want to pull that one up, Dolan? On YouTube? Okay. Our best deals, are they made from the comfy confines of our home, or should we hammer it out at the dealership going toe-to-toe, jab for jab with the salesman, finance, and sales managers? Well, you have no leverage when you're face-to-face with someone. And leverage is what gets you good deals. Leverage is what, we up to 500 likes on TikTok already. Shout out to y'all. Keep tapping the screen. Appreciate y'all. And tag a friend. Everybody bring your friends over. They need this just as much as you do. So what JC from YouTube just asks is it better? He's basically saying, am I gonna lose something by not being in the dealership face to face with a car salesman? You know, am I losing something? And it's a good question, but you're losing something by being there. And let me explain why. You're losing something by being there because your leverage in a negotiation, it comes from you talking to other people and having other offers. Let me give you a real example so that you can really understand that. When people are negotiating for your business, you're going to save the most money without trying. You go into the supermarket. Do you have to try to find the best deal on laundry detergent? Do you have to try to find the best deal on, anything, spaghetti sauce? No. Why? Because companies are actually hoping that you look and see that they're the best deal. Hey, look, we're on sale this week. Hey, look, choose us. They're trying to get your attention. They realize they're competing with all these other brands and they don't mind. So even with the TV, I always use a TV for example. If you go out to buy a TV right now, is anybody on here worried about overpaying for a TV in 2024? Anybody? And I always want to remind people, as you new people come on, this is live. This is Wednesday, our 12 p.m. live call. So our 12 p.m. live show. So you can ask your questions. This is not our rebroadcast. So what is anybody on here worried about overpaying for a TV? Anybody? No. Why is that? Because you already know that companies are competing to sell you a TV. Sony, TCL, Samsung, all of these companies are competing. Therefore, you're not gonna overpay. That's what we bring to car buying. In a nutshell, y'all, if I can wrap up what I'm trying to show you with Cars From Home, the reason why my brand is called Cars From Home, my book is called Cars From Home, my library is called Cars. The reason is because it's a mindset. It's a mindset. You're bringing the same mindset you would bring to shop for your TV to cars. And you don't overpay. You don't have anybody on here worried about having buyer's remorse for the TV. Look, Fancy Girl, Kiki, no. Look, RJ Newscom, no. Look, Patrice on Instagram, no. So no one on here is worried about overpaying for any of these items that years ago, we used to be worried about overpaying for TVs, but not anymore. So when you start staying at home and getting multiple offers and kill your programming that the car business has programmed you into thinking that you need to go in, then you're going to see how much money you save quicker. Okay? Who's not a good negotiator? As you come on, I want y'all to answer this question. Who's not a good negotiator? I see you, Yayo. I see you. Okay, I see you, Fun Times. Welcome, Tone Bud. Who's not a good negotiator? Just type me if you're just, Deshone, it's not my thing. I'm not really, look, Crow's fan. No, I'm not. What's up, Tom? Julia? So all of these, look, John C on Facebook. No. William on TikTok. No. All of these people are not yet. Danny on Instagram. So what I want to tell y'all is you no longer have to think you need to be a good negotiator to win with buying cars. You're going to start making people negotiate with each other. And that's multiple offers. So if you're buying your next car and it's a new car, you're going to get at least 5 offers from 5 different dealers. And if you're leasing your new car, you're going to get at least 5 offers from 5 different dealers while you're at home. And if you're buying a used car, you're going to stay at home. You're going to look at the entire used car market on all the marketplaces. I teach 8 marketplaces. You need to be everywhere a used car is. These are like if you were buying a TV, to continue to use that example, you wouldn't just be on Walmart.com, but not be on Amazon. You wouldn't skip Best Buy. You wouldn't skip PC. Wherever there's a TV, you would be. It's the same thing. And y'all are going to save more money than you've ever saved, easier. This is how you take control and have your confidence, and you are empowered. Okay? So that's the answer to your question, JC. You don't lose by being at home making dealers bid. You lose by being in dealers going one-on-one. Okay, great question. Shoot the next one up, Dolan. All right, this one is Mr. Martinez on TikTok. Do they require a credit check with the request? Now, that's a good question. They'll make you think they do. Whenever somebody requests your credit for a quote, just know that that's a tactic. This is why you don't want to be in dealers talking. Remember this rule. Never talk numbers for a car in the dealership. Okay? Never talk numbers in the dealership. You want to only test drive the car. Now, it's a little different with a used car. New cars, leases, never talk numbers in the dealership because you have no leverage there. It's continuing to go back. You have no leverage inside the dealership. Now, when you are requesting your quotes, you're going to the dealership site. In my book, my book is called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Everything that I'm teaching y'all is out of one of those 7 steps. Now, when you get to the point where you're getting offers, we're not using third-party websites because dealers pay for those leads. We don't want dealers paying any extra money to a company to get in touch with us. We want to go direct to dealers' websites. This takes 20 minutes. If you do it my way, you're going to the dealers' websites. In my book, I have a link to the dealers, each brand. You put your zip code in and it'll pull up all the dealers. Now, as you go to these dealers' websites, you're doing a copy and paste. Copy and paste. And now, what are we saying in that first message? What we want, what we're looking for, when we can purchase. We're not talking about numbers yet. We just want to see who has a car. Now, once we see who has a car, now my strategy that I like you to start using, and some of you who have my book, you've used it already, it's the 25 to 5. 25 to 5 is when you're connecting with 25 dealers online, and the goal is to get 5 offers. So, and the reason why we get 5 offers is because 80% are overpriced. So 4 of those 5 offers are usually going to be overpriced. That's when you know you did it right. So when we're getting our quote request, one dealer might say, oh, I can't do it without credit. One of the things we say when we're requesting quotes for a lease is assume tier 1. Now, for those of you who are purchasing, not leasing, you're going to request quotes all in, taxes, fees, everything in. Now, there are people who are going to try to knock you off your game. Some of you know, if you have my book, I have scripts for everything they're going to say, because I used to have to use these templates. You're going to hear stuff like, oh, we need you. When can we get on the phone? Can we just have a quick phone call? My script for that is, I'm going to be handling my whole process from home. I'm only going to be talking to the person who actually makes the best offer. And then you always end with a question. So you will always ask. You never want to end your communication online just end with a statement, because they're trying to get you on their agenda. You're trying to keep them on our agenda, which is, you're either going to let me know what car you have. Do you have a car that matches what I want? Second, once I confirm you have a car that matches what I want, can you give me an offer for it? That's what we want. And everything we do is to stay on that agenda. Does that make sense? When you're leasing and you're buying new cars, you have to have an agenda, because, again, I'm trying to teach you, I want you shopping with strategy. I've been doing this, helping people since 2021. We've helped over 8,000 people, probably 6,000 with my book, another 2,000 with our video program. So this, we know, works. I'm not telling you something that I'm hoping works for you. You just have to do it. But what you're going to have to do is stick to the agenda and realize that my only two purposes is to find out, does a dealer have a car that matches what I want? And can you make me an offer on it? That's it. And now I have scripts in my book that do that. For all of you who just came on, this whole show is sponsored by my new book, Cars from Home. And you can get your copy for 75% off. It's normally $97. It's a digital book, because I need to update it as things change in the market. And if you got a print book, if I printed a book and now I mailed you a book, now you got the book and it works now, but when you go to use it a year from now, some things may change, some websites may change and whatnot. Now you got to buy another book. So this book is a one-time, you get upgrades as I upgrade it, and I probably updated it at least 4 times since I launched it. So get your copy for 75% off in my TikTok bio, but you only got 30 minutes. Once 30 minutes passes, it goes back up to $97, which is still a great price, by the way, because you're going to save thousands of dollars using it in my Instagram bio and my TikTok bio. So you're never getting to the point, Mr. Martinez, where you are giving a person an opportunity to run your credit, because everything you're doing is at home requesting information. So as long as you get into the business of being at home, writing and requesting prices, and seeing which dealer is going to offer you the car for the best price, you're never going to be in a position where you need to be giving your credit, because there's no reason. And if you give your credit, you really fell for the game, because now they locked you into them, which is the goal. So no reason for everybody, no reason to give credit to give somebody our credit to get an offer. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next one. Type your questions. I see a lot coming in from Instagram. I'm in the dealership right now. Vital on Instagram. Keep that up, Dolan. Vital just said I'm in the dealer right now. Now, if you're there negotiating, then you're never going to get the best deal. You're never going to get the best deal. Understand, y'all, I'm not playing games. For those of you who don't understand what we really do here, like, this is Greg right here. Greg used our strategies. He got a $56,000 Kia EV6 win. He got it for $527 a month on his lease, no money down. That's through bids. That's not through negotiations. Danielle's lease, $44,000 Audi A3. She got it for $550 a month, no money down. You know, this is on a purchase here. Sean bought, and some of you may have these cars and look at your payments and you're going to say, Dad, Deshone, I got that same car, man, and I ain't get that price. That's why I'm trying to tell you to listen. And like, we're not regular here. And sometimes I think, like, I'm not the public. I could be in the car business making $200,000-$300,000 a year if I wanted to. This is not God's plan for me. I'm trying to give you the game, but you got to understand who I am. This ship has sailed. We've been doing this for thousands of people since 2021. If you just now here and you just finding me and you haven't used my stuff yet, like, you missed it, but understand, don't keep missing it. This Sean, he got this F-150 Lightning XLT $73,000 truck, brand new truck. He saved over $20,000 getting bids my way. And the people who learn from me, they're never going back to the old way. They never going back to negotiating and dealing. It only take one time for you to use what I'm telling you and see how quick you buy cars and see how much money you save to realize, oh shoot, I'm never going back to that old way of car shopping again. All right. So if you want to do it, you need to leave that dealership. Unless you're just there to test drive, that's different. So Instagram. Considering leasing a car, but feels like it will keep me constantly having a car payment if I choose to keep leasing at the end. Could you please explain the strategy to leasing versus financing? Absolutely. So when you're leasing, so this is a great question. Somebody said, look, if I lease, I'm going to always have a car payment. That's absolutely true. And so there's two totally different ends of the spectrum, y'all, when we look at how we acquire cars and get the best deals on them. One is a lease. My goal is to drive a new car, always under warranty in most cases, except if I'm a high mileage driver. I'm paying pennies on the dollar compared to somebody purchasing like that same car that Greg got. He's paying $527 a month. That same vehicle would be, it's a $56,000 car. That same vehicle will be $1,000 a month on a car note, at least on a 6-year car note. So I'm paying pennies on the dollar. I just had somebody today, he's going to pick up a brand new Kia Telluride. He got a payment of in the 400 range of $42,000 Kia Telluride. Once he negotiated it, he decided he was going to put $2,500 down because he wanted his payment where it was. But he already had a ridiculously low payment. It was like a 1.1% lease deal on a Kia Telluride. I told him, I said, you know that same Kia Telluride, $42,000, that would cost about $800 a month to purchase? He said, yeah, I know. I used to buy one. I used to buy mine. He actually had one. It got totaled. So he knows how much he was putting into that vehicle before he actually figured out he's not an 8-year person. So if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you should be shopping for aggressive lease deals because it's pennies on the dollar. And we shop with bids because it's easy. It's fun. We're in control. And that's the way we do it. Now, the other side of the spectrum are long-term vehicles that are going to be what we call a keeper. If anybody who has a keeper in their household, type a K. If you have a vehicle in your household right now that you've had for more than 8 years, type a K. Type a K. Type a K. As you come in, y'all, if you're on Instagram, could y'all hit that paper airplane? It looks at the bottom of the screen. It allows you to share this broadcast with your friends. And could everyone who shares, could you share this broadcast? It does help. It matters. And I'm never going to stop asking for it. And I'm never going to stop appreciating the people who share. I appreciate you guys. And your friends will appreciate you more than anything, more than even I appreciate you. When you tag a friend who doesn't know me and they're car shopping, they'll appreciate you more than even I appreciate you. So, okay. All right. So we got John on on Facebook. We got Michael. We got, hold on. Let me see. Acura MDX. Rob Korn got an Acura MDX on Instagram. He's had it 195,000 miles. So these are what we call Derek on TikTok, Donald on TikTok. These are what we call keepers. These are vehicles that, again, someone asked a question about understanding if I always have a car payment, if I lease, can we please explain the strategy of leasing versus financing? I just told you the benefits of leasing. Now, all those benefits come at a price. Now, the other side of the spectrum is the long-term keeper vehicle where now we have outlived depreciation because the unseen expense is the one that's killing you. The unseen expense is depreciation. When you buy your car today for $30,000, tomorrow it's not worth $30,000, right? Tomorrow. You can buy a car today for $30,000 and bring it back to the dealer tomorrow. They're not just giving you your $30,000. You've lost money in one day. That's depreciation. Now you can sit that car outside your house and you can have that car. You don't drive it 1 mile. You never even touched it. And you go out there and a year later, is it worth $30,000? No, right? You never told, but Deshone, I didn't even drive it. But you understand, it's not worth $30,000 anymore. It sat there for a year. Now it's probably worth $24,000. That's depreciation. So some of you have been trained to think, oh, well, I buy my cars because I don't want to pay for the mileage. What I'm trying to get you to understand is when you understand depreciation, you're going to see not only do you pay for the mileage, whether you buy or lease, you pay for the car whether you drive it or not when you buy. Does that make sense? Type clear if y'all are clear so far on this, on these principles. Because it's bad information that's been fed to you for all these years that, oh, you know what? I like to drive as much as I want. Oh, I like to do everything and I don't want to pay for mileage, so I'm going to buy. But what you're seeing now is, oh, shoot. If I drive no miles, my car's worth less. If I drive average miles, my car's worth even less. If I drive high miles, my car's worth even less. Depreciation. It's the unseen expense. So now our goal with purchasing the right way and picking whether I'm going to shop for great lease deals or whether I'm going to be a long-term keeper is to avoid where the depreciation loses us the most money. The most money. Look, right here, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you're losing the most money. This is when you don't want to have bought your car and replaced it, because you're losing thousands and thousands of dollars every year. And now many of you have been taught it's okay to switch cars while you're in here, dropping. But going back to the keepers know, all right, I'm switching cars when my value is like this, my depreciation. So all of you who said out there that you got a car that you had for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, now you're gonna, here's what proves to you what I'm saying is true. The keepers, which is why I'm trying to get you guys out of that middle, all you 3, 4, 5 year people, 6 year, 7 year people that do not lease. You don't keep your cars long enough to outlive this depreciation, but you don't lease. You're losing the most money by far, thousands and thousands of dollars every car you buy in resale value, because you flip cars, try to trade them in while you just lost thousands and thousands of dollars. So on the other end, those of you who said, Deshone, I got a keeper outside, if that car today is worth $5,000, a year from now, it's probably going to be worth $4,800. That means you're no longer losing value like this. You're only losing value little by little, and you've outlived the depreciation. So your goal when understanding should I lease or buy is like, Deshone, okay, how do I avoid this? Well, if you're not keeping your car 8 years, you should be shopping for leases. Everyone who told you otherwise was wrong. I'm not going to say they were malicious, but they were incorrect. And unfortunately, I call them confidently incorrect. Dangerous. Dangerous. Being confident and incorrect is dangerous to you and others and everyone who's going to listen to you. So I'm telling you the truth based on numbers, that shopping for lease deals is here. If I'm not keeping my cars 8 years, I need to be shopping for great lease deals. If I'm going to keep my car more than 8 years, then I'm going to purchase and I'm going to make sure I get a car that's going to last 8+ years so that I can outlive the depreciation and win with long-term ownership. But I'm not stuck in the middle. Clear? Clear? Everybody clear before we move to the next question? JC said, my man hitting on all cylinders. I appreciate you, man. This is what we do, man. I've been doing this since 2006, man. I'm not new to this. I've been helping people save money on cars and make dealers bid for their business since 2021. And that's what I'm known for. Here in New Jersey, people know when I had my brokerage, Deshone is the person that helps people save money if you listen to him. If you don't listen to me, God bless you. I wish you the best. All right, so for all of you, cue the next question up, y'all. For all of you who just jumped on, this whole show is sponsored by my new book. Everything I teach is out of my new book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's normally $97, but as part of our launch, you can get your copy for 75% off. It's a digital book. It'll be in your inbox in literally 3 minutes. And if you're on TikTok, you won't leave the broadcast, so you don't have to wait until the show is over to click the link in my bio.